So now that we know the different life cycle stages, now what are some of the best practices of building the future of the financial services? So when we look at this, we kind of look at three core best practices that we want to do. So the first one is you always want to design around the user, whether that be the customer, whether that be the internal employees, whether that be the management team. We always want to be user-centric when we do our designs. And what that's going to do is going to deliver better personalized journey, that it's going to be more tailored towards that user so they can accomplish the problem that they're trying to solve. It's going to create a better understanding of what the goals are for the customer and for the employee. And then it's going to improve that, and by doing that, it's going to improve the financial well-being of the customers. It's going to give them the best experience. Once, like I said, once we understand what they're trying to do, then we know how to serve them the best. So always one of the big first principle is always know who your user is, know what the problem that you're trying to solve, and then design around that user.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I think that that's really where no-code platforms actually come into play as well, right? Because we know that those users, requirements are going to change and those journeys are going to change. So how do you leverage nimble technology that will help you, change rapidly as those change as well?
Yes, yeah, and then also. Okay, so then next where we're going into, no, I think we're good to go to the next one, is another principle is do what you do best and then integrate the rest. That meaning focus on the unique value product that you offer to the market. As we start to see technology grow, we see all these different companies that are focusing on different aspects of how you build a digital platform. And so, for example, look at Uber. Uber, when they first started, they didn't go build out a whole mapping system. They bought in Google Maps. They didn't go and build a whole payment processing system. They brought in Stripe. So when we do this, we focus on what do you do best? What do you offer? What is unique that you offer to the market? And then start to look at other technologies that you can start to integrate in there. And what that's going to start to do is allow you to have a better customer or user experience and reduce your development costs and allow you also to get out into market faster. And then the last one are fast iteration cycles. When we're starting to talk, it's kind of been a common theme. And again, this is where a low-code, no-code platform does help. It's because you can get that faster development. You can get those faster cycles in, and it reduces that risk of launching a product that no one wants. Once we can get it in front of our users, we're going to learn more about our users. We're going to learn about the problems. We're going to learn, is this the right solution for them before we go and invest a bunch of time to go build and develop the perfect product. Nothing comes out as the perfect product right when you start. So getting those fast development cycles is key. And again, that's going to lead to increased customer satisfaction. It's going to increase to faster time to market. We're not going to spend a lot of time, grinding, trying to build something that's perfect. We want to get it out there, make sure it's solving the problem, and then iterate on it, And so again, understanding your users is key to that, but then also choosing technologies that allow for these fast development cycles. If you're an organization that doesn't have a product team or things like that, that's where a lot of these low-code, no-code platforms can come in, like Cratio, and allow you to start to make those cycles, tweak those little things, and you don't have to go through a whole development process with an IT team or a development team.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's absolutely correct. And we start to think about this collaborative environment, right? Like, so no longer is it, the ideas are generated on the business side and then handed over to IT develops and then launches, and then, they try to go through that cycle multiple times. With a no-code, low-code platform, you're able to build in that collaboration so that everybody's a part of that design and that iteration process. We don't have to, necessarily, theoretically think about things on the business side and then pass those requirements down. Now, you have this concept of, this kind of fusion team where you have business and developers working together to develop the proper product. And I think that that's really where you see, the better products being produced. They're iterated quicker, and as you said, the faster time to market, which is obviously going to be important because you gotta outpace the competition that we had mentioned, and they're pretty. Some of these new startups, they're pretty tech savvy. So being able to keep up with that is ultimately important.
Yeah.
All right.
So yeah, now we know kind of those best practices that we want to implement while we're starting to do this. What are the different resources that an organization is going to need? And really, when you're building a disruptive product like this, there are 4 core types of people that you need in an organization, and then that to go build and take a product to market. And so first off, you need someone to start to set the vision in the organization. Usually that's around the executive teams. It could be around a product owner, but understanding what is that North Star that they're trying to go to? What problem is trying to be solved? What is that solution? And who's involved at that at a very high level. Then we'll start to move that down into translating that vision into requirements. And this is at Nimble's where we see is a big gap into the market when people are going to take something to developing a new product, is that someone that needs to be there and synthesize. And when they're synthesizing, they're looking at that vision and saying, from that vision, how do we get there? With what's in the world today, how do we take those and turn those into requirements? How should that be working at a capabilities level, a functionality level? And then that will then lead us to, okay, what product are we developing? Who are the developers? What platforms are we using? What technologies are we leveraging in there? And then really in that level, whoever's developing that product, they're optimizing the solution. So they're looking in there and said, this would be the most efficient technology to use in this use case, things like that. And then once you have a product built, then you have a group of people who need to then bring that to market. How are they building a pipeline of it could be test users, it could be the customers. How are they getting onboarded? How do we have customer success? So really, when we're looking at taking a product to market, it has to be the orchestration of these different types of people. And at Nimble, that's what we really help do. We start to say, where are you in the process, identifying who the different stakeholders are, and making sure that we have the vision set. We translate those in the correct requirements that are needed. We then enable a development team to go deliver the optimized product that you're looking for. And then how do we take that to market? Start to, like I said, build that pipeline, get a customer, helping with that onboarding, things like that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I like the way that you broke this down too, because I feel like the role of who is setting that vision and translating requirements, right? Like that first 2 bullets is kind of changing, right? Like it's no longer is the role of the CIO just to think about that development of the product and how to launch that, right? Like now they've kind of got a seat at the table at this point, right? Like CIOs also have to have a business acumen now as well, right? Like they need to be able to understand what is the direction of the organization, what are they trying to accomplish, and then also translate those requirements into the technical need, and be able to design kind of that art of the possible as well, right? Like how do we accomplish that through technology? What is possible? What's not possible? And then also from that perspective, also bring to the table technology that maybe we haven't even thought of yet, and how do we start to implement that internally as well? So I see that the first portion of that changing, right? And I don't know if that's your experience at Nimble as well, but there's a lot more seats at that table when you're having those discussions now.
Exactly. Yeah. And then the key thing is who's fitting in there might change, but the fact that you need to have these types of people are needed to take a vision or take a product to market, it still stays the same. And like Erik said, it's evolving of who sits where, and then that's how we start to look at how do we transform, form into the new technologies that are available, right? Technology is always going to be moving forward. As we start to look at that, people might fall into different places. So just really understanding what those are and what are those roles that are needed when we talk about those different stages.
Absolutely. All right. Well, Blair, Everen, I think we did a pretty good job of keeping on target here, which is rare. For especially someone in sales, we like to talk, we like slides, we like all of that.